Hey, everybody. Welcome to Versus. I believe this is episode 8. You might think by now, with all the episodes of John Versus and with Versus how we're doing, that we'd be running out of steam with Jagged Edge movies, and you'd be right. However, I don't expect many people to be connoisseurs of what's actually going on in this like British like dirt horror movie scene. There's a bunch of like sister studios, and like ITN distributes Jagged Edge, and there's Dark Abyss and Uncorked Entertainment. So we've only really scratched the surface, and I'm sure Will's dreading. Yeah, I'm sorry. We've only really scratched the surface going through all of these studios, and I'm sure by the time we go through even more stuff, there'll be more movies and more studios. So we are not bringing you exactly a Jagged Edge production this week, but they share a bunch of actors and they share a bunch of themes. Before we get into it, Will, Cohen, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I feel like I was sold a bill of goods with this one, though, because it had someone in there, and we'll get into the nitty gritty later. But the way you sold this is like, hey, remember that dude from that one thing that we both actually liked? Well, he's in this, and I got excited, and I blame myself for getting excited.
I also fell for the same trick. We're talking about the guy that played Billy in Dinosaur Hotel 3. His name's Derek Miller. And he was incredible, I mean, for lack of a better word, in that movie, given the context of it being a Jagged Edge film. So we saw that he was the lead in this movie. And how can you go wrong? That guy's got like great comedic timing and everything. And we were wrong. So this is Monsternado.
Storms headed northwest to the eastern seaboard.
Give me Department of Homeland Security. It's an emergency.
We are in the shadow of these quickly approaching water spouts.
They're whipping up spouts at speeds of 300 miles an hour. That's not all. Massive creatures. Prehistoric beasts. Monsters. Something's coming, and it's bringing all of hell with it. To go.
But anyway, what a trailer. It's like a who's who of monsters we've seen before. We got the pterodactyls from Pterodactyl. We got the crocodile from Croc. There's sharks. There's an octopus. There's things they call crabs, but they are not crabs. Which is kind of like, I can just see that the production, like, the director's like, okay, you can't see any of these monsters. We're going to CGI in all the monsters. We're going to just copy and paste this monster 100 times. It's a crab, and they tell everybody it's crab, but they're like scorpions.
I'll hold off the crabs. You can't shoot through the shells; it won't work.
But you can't hurt them. Aim for the eyes. They'll pop like water balloons.
Okay, I got it. Now move, go. I got this.
Right.
It's like they're running from these. So either we're supposed to believe that nobody knows what a crab is. We're just living in a world where nobody knows what a crab looks like. I guess for starters. Anyway, yeah. Let's just get like my major gripe, which I've had with so many of these movies, off my chest. Like, can you just say you're in London? Like, you don't need to be in America. I don't understand the need for these British companies to shoot in London, make no effort to make it look like they're not shooting in London, and then say they're in America. Like, you're driving on the wrong side of the road. You're driving on the wrong side of the car.
Go, punch it. Further away we can get from the coast, the better.
Yeah. You're gonna hate me, Matt, but I'm gonna have to go back to the coastal airstrip.
Right? And when you're in the office building, like, the gherkin is right there. It's right there.
Says here, you're kicked out of MIT for plagiarizing research.
That's a lie. What does it even matter?
Like, that's the London skyline. Like, I'm maybe okay. Am I being unfair to like the Earth? Are people really that stupid, Will?
So people as a whole, no. But I'm pretty sure on your resume they'd give you an IQ test to work for one of these companies, and if you get above, like, I imagine a 103, then they just tell you that you're not hired.
It's gotta be.
Like, obviously these guys are not Mensa candidates, or maybe they just assume that we're just going to make these films and assume no one's going to watch them, which is weird because why would you make the movie in the first place?
Yeah. There's like so much. There's just so many like little things that happen in this movie that like it's such head scratching stuff. Like, if I were to describe the plot, but then like tell you what happens in the movie, it makes zero sense. So our main character is Derek Miller, the guy Derek Miller. He plays Matt. Matt is an MIT graduate, right?
Right.
But he specializes in meteorology, archaeology, biology. Like, he knows everything, which is funny because MIT is not known for any of those majors.
Right.
Floyd, have you not been paying attention? This is what I've been tracking for the last 20 years. I've squandered my entire family fortune on this. Have you zoned out the whole time?
But he went to MIT. He's an expert in like everything. He's just a scientist. He's like a government contractor. He's not. His boss doesn't work for FEMA. His boss is like, apparently they didn't research FEMA at all because the guy who runs FEMA claims he was elected to run FEMA.
Which you're not.
Which is not how it works. Guys, I'm talking to the dumb British people. That's not how. You could have gone on Wikipedia and figured that shit out. Wikipedia is WIKIPEDIA. You could have just seen
.org.
.org. .org. Yes, it would have redirected you. Yeah,
that's right.
FEMA's an appointed position. You don't need to worry about getting elected to be president of FEMA. Let me put that out there. No worries. But so he's working for FEMA directly for the guy who's the head of FEMA. However, the head of FEMA, he's corrupt is the wrong word. This guy's like the devil. He's just basically, I took all your data about this like cataclysmic apocalyptic event, and I willfully ignored it because I need a disaster to get reelected.
Why are you stopping? You can't do that!
Actually, I can. Because it's an election year, Matt. And I give a shit about approval points. I figured I'd kill myself a couple of monsters. Maybe boost my approval rating. Every crisis needs a hero, buddy.
Yeah, like, but you could have had like an earthquake or a flood. You didn't need like the shit they put in the Bible to happen. Right. But yeah, well, describe this apocalypse level event that's happened.
So basically, there are tornadoes on cocaine. Like, they're bigger, they're faster, and it's not like, it's not a Sharknado. Oh no. These tornadoes have like fucking everything in them. They have the shark, they have the octopus. I'm pretty sure they couldn't get the rights to Sharktopus.
No.
Shows how much they actually cared about this. They have crabs, they have snakes, they have crocodiles, they have they have creatures that apparently show up in, how do I put this? These are creatures that look like they showed up in Sleep Tokens videos. And if you actually watch Sleep Token videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, except it's just rendered like shit.
Yeah, the first, like, throughout, I'm going to say 90% of the movie, it's either easily recognizable creatures that we see every day, right? Just gigantic. But the first creature we see that attacks the fisherman on the boat is like mythological shit. It's like a half human, half fucking crab.
Now, I seriously shit you not. Like, pause this video, look up the video for Sleep Tokens The Summoning. The creature you see there throughout the entire video is the creature you see here. And the coincidence, there is no coincidence here that that video and this movie both came out in 2023 within about 6 months of each other.
Yeah. Oh, there's also like a thing of spiders for some reason too, like little spiders.
There you go.
It's like, I think it was like, I never understand how these movies get made. I don't know like what alcohol, cocaine filled, like, orgy these movies come out of. But this is just like, everyone throw your best fucking idea in this hat. We're using all of them. And like they did not say no to anybody. Like anybody that wanted a creature or a monster, everyone got their favorite monster, their favorite creature put in this movie. And of course, our boy Matt's an expert on all of them.
I guarantee that they had to have said no to some of them though, because I guarantee that there was pitched, hey, can we get a Cyclops? Can we get a mummy? Can we get like a fucking vampire? I guarantee that they said no to some of them, but what they did is that they just shook a magic 8-ball, and whatever that said no or yes to, that's what they selected.
That makes more sense. So that's like our A storyline, that we have Matt, who's a FEMA contractor, not an actual government employee and contractor, but he gets fucked over by the president of FEMA, and the president of FEMA just like boots him out of the car.
Get out the fucking car. What? Out! Out! Get out the fucking car! Out! Get out of the fucking car!
But I've got the calculations. I know how to stop the thing. I can disrupt the agonic line.
And why do you think I want to do that, huh?
Like they don't cause the apocalypse. They just don't prevent it.
Right.
That's whatever ethics class. You tell me if he's wrong. He just didn't prevent it. But also, this is a special Monsternado because it originated from the Bermuda Triangle.
The sudden appearance of the northern lights over the Bermuda Triangle are why we should be worried. Why is no one worried?
My bro, you have got to breathe, all right? This triangle fixation is going to be the end of you, my man. I mean, seriously.
Where there are which, as we know from Sky Monster, is a very special area. Normally tornadoes, water spouts over the ocean are fueled by the air and the water currents, which pull down. However, Matt goes to very large lengths to explain to us that this is a magnetically propulsed Monsternado that is coming geomagnetically up from the earth. Now, I'm not a scientist, but this doesn't sound like any science I've ever fucking heard.
Yes, indeed, but these spouts aren't affected by the weather above. It comes from below, gravitomagnetic surges. Just look at the seismic activity coupled against the magnetic activity.
But magnetism doesn't start tornadoes or water spouts.
No, not on Earth, but on Mercury and on the Sun. And I've been tracking the same occurrences over the Bermuda Triangle.
And I think that they're banking on the fact it's like, well, if you're watching this film, chances are you're not a scientist. If you watch up to this point, you're either still going to watch because you're us, or because you're hammered and you don't care anymore. because I'm guessing that the people who wrote this were hammered and they just didn't care anymore.
Right. So before and the FEMA guy turns on Matt within the first 12 minutes of the movie. But before that, they're in a meeting with I don't understand their understanding of the American government. I don't understand. But they're in a meeting with somebody who's apparently above the head of FEMA. So that has to be like the president of the United States. I don't know who that guy's supposed to be. He's some representative of the executive branch of the United States of America. It's a guy and his assistant. And even though the head of FEMA has his specialty scientist with him, all this other guy does is shit en masse.
God damn it, Travis. Why are you wasting our time with this? This is the third time we've had this nut job in here. Each time more ridiculous than the last.
Nut job?
Yeah, nut job. Huh?
So, yeah, this is all part of the A story.
Yeah.
The B story is where shit gets weird.
It's so weird. Go ahead.
So, apparently, we cut to 3 hot, scantily clad women.
To another night on the grind.
To making our daddies proud. Am I interrupting anything?
And they pick up some random dude who, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've seen him before too.
He is the owner of the house in Mega Lightning 2.
Right, I knew
he is
it.
the concerned father in Pterodactyl 2, and he's also the person summoning Freddy in Freddy's Fridays. He shows up. He's also a musician, apparently. His name is Jace Rivers, and this is like his second career because he was a musician clearly for the first 40 years of his life because he's a good-looking 60. This guy.
I mean, to be fair, the head hot chick is played by Danielle Scott, who we have seen multiple times and like in several of these Jagged Edge films.
She played his wife in Mega Lightning.
We've had the call. We have got the big fish on the line.
This is it. He isn't gonna know what hit him.
Oh, and we're gonna learn from the master. Oh, I'll take that compliment.
Danielle Scott's character, she is Agent something. Pamela Rousey. It's not Rousey in the movie. It's like Rancy. Pamela something, right? She works for the FBI. Now, again, this is going to be John corrects, Dark Abyss on how things work. She works for the FBI. The other 2 agents, Agent Tina and Agent Pepper, played by Lila Lasso and May Kelly, right? They work for Interpol, but we're in America, so Interpol, I guess, might give a shit about this guy who's a human trafficker. But hey, you know who wouldn't? If this is an international incident, you know who wouldn't be on this case?
The FBI.
Fucking FBI, because it would be that's a CIA jurisdiction. You fucking dipshits. Anyway, FBI does not work with Interpol unless Interpol. And if this guy is trafficking across country lines, the CIA would be working with Interpol, not the FBI. But anyway, well, back to that storyline.
So they, Pam, as as undercover, takes this dude up to a hotel room under the guise of sleeping with him.
Steady the notes, eh? We're gonna, sweetheart. You teach me a lesson. You can be as rough as you like.
That's good to know.
Again.
And she gets pretty close, and then she goes, "I have a surprise." Agent Pepper and Agent who the fuck ever, I don't care. They don't. Yeah, they come out of the wings. He goes, "Ooh, foursome."
This is good. Oh, thank you, Pamela.
I think we are going to like it a lot more.
Yeah, we really like it.
And then I'm not entirely sure where she pulls out the badge. I'm not going to ask. I didn't
I just pulls it out of her bra. But
all right, yeah.
Agent Pamela Rousey from the FBI. This is Pepper and Tina from Interpol. We have been tracking you for the last 6 months.
But yeah, FBI. And so they're now so they're trying to get him out of the hotel because they now have him under captivity. But the owner of the hotel that they're in won't let them outside because of the storm. And so while in there, they're deciding, for some reason, the staff, who is very helpful, decides, between, okay, should we untie him and let him, just be comfortable while we ride out the storm, or should we just beat the shit out of him?
We're glossing over a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna make some fine points. As part of the seduction, when Pam is seducing this dude, Clive Delaney, human trafficker, she ties him up. So his hands are bound over his head. But when they come in the room, they all drop guns on him. You don't need to drop guns on someone who's tied up.
What the fuck?
You just don't need to. Like, that's unnecessary. Not only that, but when they're down in the lobby, these Interpol agents, who are good guys, are like just pointing guns at like civilians.
You can do whatever you want in your room.
Well, a room doesn't exist and she asked you a fucking question.
Put that away, will you? What are you, crazy? Laura, what are you doing? Laura!
I think she's having cardiac arrest.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then we also skipped over the scene when all of the hotel guests, not before they come downstairs, all the other hotel guests who are in robes are like, no, we're not staying in this hotel. You're going to let us outside. And the one dude, I think his name was Grady, the nice guy. He's like, no, it's not safe outside. It's not safe outside. You can't go out there.
Grady, go ahead and let them go.
And they're like, fuck you, buddy, let us out. And then the concierge is like, yeah, let him out. And then they just walk outside, and a tornado just scoops them up.
Oh yeah. Which is like one of the funniest scenes of the movie, because like they're not even running at that point. They're just like, it looks like they're just leisurely strolling along the beach, and it just sucks them right up.
Yep.
No screaming, nothing. Just.
There's also like another. I'm going to say there's also a C and a D storyline. Because in the beginning, when we're introduced to Matt has just like a roommate who lays on the couch. I forget what his name is, but he's just laying on the couch.
Yeah, unemployed.
But since Matt is an expert on apocalyptic events, I guess we're gonna say he's like an apocalyptologist. He told his roommate, "Hey, listen, man, you've always got to have a go bag, right?" So there's definitely a C storyline where this guy has escaped his apartment and he's made it on top of a parked car with his go bag. And we occasionally go back and forth to him until he's done being useful. The D storyline is there's a news report, and they're gonna get this story no matter what. Even though like they can see the Monsternado, they can see that there's like sharks and all kinds of crazy shit in them.
This is a fucking beaut! We're the only ones out here, Keith! Oh, Channel 7 is gonna shit themselves. Are we rolling?
But they're like, no, we've got to get closer. No, all the girl wants to do is get closer, get closer, get closer.
My favorite line of that storyline is, "No, do not turn off that camera. The last time you turn off the camera, we missed the part of the cop shooting people in the dick."
We'll put that right here.
I think we should get ourselves to safety pronto.
Not a chance in hell, Keith. The last time you did this, you made me miss the cops shooting that looter's dick off.
The fuck? This is almost as good as Billy from Dinosaur Hotel 3 going, kiss the gun, and the girl kisses it. It's almost that good.
Yeah, you might think we're spending a ton of time on just like giving you the chess pieces of the thing, but that really is like half the movie, literally setting it up. Because the second half of the movie is just them running through the hotel and getting killed one by like roll the dice, whatever friggin' creature you want just shows up and kills them. It's nuts. So
it feels like the Kroger brand Jumanji halfway through the movie. It really does.
Pretty much. But I was talking to Will beforehand. My absolute favorite moment in this movie is Grady, who I guess is I think, for lack of a better word, he's like the chief of maintenance for the hotel, I guess is the easiest to put it. Like he's the chief of security, chief of maintenance. He's just like a jack of all trades. The Interpol and FBI agent leave this most wanted fugitive with him, and they walk away. And then suddenly Grady reveals to Clive that he is ex-military. Well, he tells the girl he's ex-military.
I like your message, by the way.
Oh, you understood that.
Telling his friends that the feds were on to him to turn themselves in and release the girls. Nice touch.
Are you ex-military?
Indeed I am.
I thought so.
Then he reveals to Clive, not only is he ex-military, he's like one of the bad Guantanamo torturers. And then he starts cutting this dude for no reason. Like, in America, all right? Listen, document people. In America, right? There is something called the Bill of Rights. Now, even though he is a prisoner, he has freedom from cruel and unusual torture, and he has the right to due process. Like, I'm angry. Yeah, I'm angry at you British citizens who produced this movie. Like, this is not how we do shit in America.
Acting like you run the world. Oh, fuck, man, that hurt. Because it felt good to me. You like being in control. Well, I'm in control now, motherfucker.
Fuck you. Dude, that is bullshit. Don't you dare do that again.
They're going to do it again. I'm like, I have a feeling that it's called Uncorked for a reason. Like every story. Like, I feel like, I hate saying this, John. I really do. I think Jagged Edge is like the prestige, shit company. And all these sister companies are like the dimension of.
I feel like these ones are better than Jagged Edge. This is probably not the best example of it, but we've covered one or two other Dark Abyss uncorked films, and they're usually slightly better quality. This, I think, is a Jagged Edge quality uncorked film. Because I digress. Can I mention? I said this in my review on Letterboxd. It's just bad CGI. You even saw the trailer. It's just every time they can put the worst CGI you've ever seen. All right, there's that shark popping through the wall.
Get out of here, run!
And the shark looks like wants to go, hello, my baby, and it just doesn't. That shark is. But then you go through the credits, and there's a whole animation team that put their real names in the credits. Kudos to those guys. They're the real heroes. The fact I did this. I did this. This is in my portfolio.
Hey, Pixar, pay attention.
It's hey, Illumination, you got my number. You know to reach me. If you want this in Despicable Me 5, you know who to call.
My God, this.
Yeah, Will, you mentioned the movie goes from 60 to 0. I think this is when the movie starts decelerating because they've introduced 1,000 characters, and now they've got to just kill them.
And they're not even being creative about it, which is the sad thing. It's you have the opportunity to have some great kills, have a I guess you can't have a flying shark because you would be sued by the Sci-Fi Network. Fine.
That does happen though. There's at least one because the news reporter.
Oh, that's true.
Gets hit by a flying shark. So Sci-Fi, you know what to do.
We don't see anyone killed by the octopus. We don't see anyone like.
No, we do.
We do?
The girl who befriends Matt, Kelly. They're like, I just got to know Kelly. Kelly gets pulled out of a hole in the ceiling by the octopus.
No! 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 No!
Okay, that's what pulled her out. Okay.
You'd think with how prevalent this octopus is, and how like Matt's like it's the most intelligent creature in the world. Like the octopus has ample opportunity to just like lay waste to everybody and doesn't. But
that's fair.
I digress.
Yeah, like I feel you have the apple. You're going to call this thing Monsternado. At the beginning of the film, you're going to tease that these are legit monsters. Like these are not your run of the mill, like chompies, and yet the only one we get is really at the beginning of the film, and that's just sad.
Yeah, they could have went full monster portal on us, but they didn't. They didn't even monster portal us. They gave us one monster and a bunch of things we could find on the planet at your local.
And correct me if I'm wrong. So one thing we didn't talk about at the beginning of the film is that it like all the thing we see all the things with the fishermen and all that go down, and then it says, and then it cuts to the beginning of the next scene, and it says 10 hours earlier.
Oh, this is weird. No.
Yeah.
But we never go back.
She hit the fan right away.
Yeah, but it would never go. We never go back to the boat.
No, we don't. And definitely 10 hours does not pass. It's
No.
so weird. Yeah. So there's a kill. We go 10 hours earlier, but I think the whole thing resolves within a few hours. So maybe that's a second Monsternado then. Or it's just.
I did hear that there is a second Monsternado coming. I did hear about that.
Oh, well, thank goodness. Thank goodness they're going to resolve that plot point. Let's talk about some of these kills. So the first major one is, even though like Brady goes through great pains to tell us, the glass in the lobby is bulletproof and it can sustain 8 feet of seawater. I don't think you understand how much weight 8 feet of seawater can put on glass, right? So 8 feet of seawater is like tons of pressure.
Right.
But as soon as 10 of these crab scorpions get in the lobby, they break that glass. And like that's absolute bullshit unless those things have the weight of the fucking sun. There's no way they're gonna break through that glass. But anyway, Lila's in the lobby because she stays behind to like cover everybody. They give her a bunch of advice. Shoot the things in the eyes. She doesn't kill any of them. She runs around like there's CGI. But when she runs behind the lobby desk, suddenly there's nothing happening.
Right.
Then she makes to the elevator, and then like they just dogpile, like the copy paste scorpions, just like dogpile on her and like hump her to death. Yes.
Right.
Because they are going like this on her. Then we got the other one, Pepper. Crocodiles get her, even though she does the same rope-a-dope thing. Like she goes in the bathroom, crocodile comes, she goes around the other side, fakes out the crocodile, and then she just stands still for too long, and a crocodile eats her.
They got scared by this fucking crocodile. Yeah.
There's a scene when like Matt and Kelly go in the basement, and there's just like a room, and in the room, even though the room is inside the building, it's full of sharks. So that means that part of the building leads to the ocean? I don't fucking understand.
I guess.
But there's a room full of sharks.
This is salt water.
And they're just like regular sized sharks. But then suddenly, like around the corner, even though there's no water behind the wall, this gigantic shark busts through the wall. And apparently the shark does not need to be in the water because the shark is on land for a long ass time and eats a crocodile. And Pam can sneak past it. Whatever. Pam also originally went down the catacombs with the owner of the hotel, who gets attacked by a snake. Pam saves him from the snake. Everything's all good, but then for some reason, like 10,000 little spiders fall through a hole in the ceiling and kill him. So there's a bunch of little spiders in the Monsternado as well. We do cut back to the dude who was yelling at the FEMA president and Matt. They're still in their office, in this high-rise office, and you're in London. And like a pterodactyl breaks through the window and eats them.
Right. I do remember that.
We don't know what happens to the assistant. We also don't know what happens to the head of FEMA. He just fucks over Matt and fucks off. Like we never go back to him, right?
Well, that's why we need a sequel, apparently.
He's not going to be in the sequel. We know better. Matt's friend with the go bag. Matt gives him instructions because in his go bag is literally a ton of top secret confidential shit that a contractor should not have, let alone an employee of FEMA. But this guy is someone who will get a hard line to the government, and he calls in the resolution of the movie. And as soon as he's done being useful, even though this car has been surrounded by sharks for half the movie, the sharks finally decide to jump out of the water and kill that guy.
What's happening? What's going on?
The sharks, man. The sharks are all over me. I just.
Get out of there! Go!
Dude, I can't. They've got me. All right, this is it. I think this is the end.
I'm out, fucker. Shit. Ah!
Lloyd!
Yeah, Kelly gets pulled through the ceiling by the octopus. Grady gets killed while he's torturing Clive.
I ain't falling for that shit, Clive. No, I'm not kidding. There's something there. Oh, shut your mouth. Turn the fuck round.
Clive escapes. Then we're here for our final set piece where they emerge. Will, you're going to love this. They emerge from the hotel, but now they're on the set of Dinosaur Hotel 2. They made it all the way to the set of Dinosaur Hotel 2, which is crazy. Now they're in that paintball park again.
Matt!
Now you can't see London at all. Like apparently the hotel connects to like some far off nature preserve, and there's like a tower, and they're climbing the tower, and they can get attacked. There's octopuses there. Everything's there, but none of these creatures attack them. But Clive shows up, and he tries to attack him, and the octopus gets him.
Oh, bollocks.
Matt, run!
And then the military comes, and there's fighter jets shooting pterodactyls and shooting sharks. And even though like they are not winning this fight yet, there's still like dozens of creatures around. Matt and Pam are out in like this open window, just like with their arms around each other, and like nothing's attacking them.
Right.
And the movie ends. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
It's like they assume that like people are going to give a shit enough to watch a sequel of this. Because I'm almost willing to wager that through archival footage, like very much like Beneath the Planet of the Apes did, is that they're going to like just put it on that scene and then bullshit some kind of storyline like that's concurrent to what we're seeing and still call it a sequel.
I'm going to point out, like, I hate to say it's a plot hole, but it is. Matt's like the magnetic pull of these of this storm is going to pull it to the North Pole. Well, if that's the fucking resolution, don't stop the tornado. Just let it go to the goddamn North Pole and stay there. Like, then you could just avoid the North Pole. And newsflash, half the creatures in the goddamn tornado would die at the North Pole. The crocodiles would definitely die.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, what's our drink this week?
Oh, after all of that, I think we all need a drink, and luckily, we have one provided. And of course, after all of this shit, now I can't find. There it is. Got it. Haha. Shout out to cocktailwave.com for this week's recipe. This is called the Tornado. I imagine, like, apparently this is a drink that's been around for a long time. Everyone has their own variation of it. So we're going off of what cocktailwave.com recommends for their Tornado. What's great about this website is that they actually give you a history of how this is created. We're not going to go into that because, like the creators of this film, we just don't give a shit. The ingredients, here we go. 1 shot of whiskey, 1 shot of vodka, a half shot of, this says sugar. I'm sure you can use any kind of simple syrup. I would probably recommend using a simple syrup because just straight sugar in this already would just taste like shit. You have 2 shots of Coca-Cola. What I would recommend, just based on this recipe alone, I would use the Coca-Cola Spice because it does add a little bit extra flavor. And 1 shot of tequila. And for some reason, they specify 3 ice cubes. Like, add as many ice as you want. I don't really give a shit. And so basically what you do is you fill a highball glass with the cubes. You pour in all your alcohols first. You add the sugar, simple syrup, whatever the fuck you want to add. Hell, I find that actually if you add maple syrup, it definitely gives a nice little richness to it. Consider that. You stir it up until everything is completely mixed. You top it off with the Coke, and then, I shit you not, this is what step 5 actually says. Serve immediately and enjoy the stormy ride.
All right. So let's do 2 drinking games apiece. I'll start. I would say just take a sip anytime a professed government employee does something that should get them fired.
Every time someone says the word FEMA.
Yes. Every time Matt is put on the spot to explain something scientifically.
Every time the FBI or Interpol just does something fucking stupid.
Agreed. And that should help you drink this drink well. Anyway, that has been our coverage of Monsternado. I believe next week we'll start tackling the Tooth Fairy series, which again is not Jagged Edge, but Jagged Edge adjacent. And there's 5 of those bad boys. We're in for the ride. Till then, like, comment, subscribe, share. If you made it this far in the video, join the Facebook group, go to the TikTok, do the whole thing. Mondays is Versus. Wednesdays now. Why We Love Horror Trivia Special Edition. Thursdays is Why We Love Horror and Horror Headlines, and Friday is the normal Why We Love Horror trivia show. So thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.